this video we are going to use one of the Unity's tools to get our upper body to animate and move about accordingly, and instead of just doing this FPS locomotion, we need some shooting. For shooting we also need a gun, and the upper body will animate on its own. So the plan is we are gonna animate the arms using an animation, and we're gonna change the spines rotation using a rig. You will see what a rig is after we install the animation rigging package. Let's go into the package manager. Inside Unity registry, search for animation rigging, and here it is, animation rigging, install. I'll just do some compiling scripts. After it's done, we will just close the package manager. Then on the player object, we have a player model and the animator controller. We just open that and add a new layer. This is going to be called arms layer. We will add a different animation. So first, let's create a folder. Call this avatar masks. And we'll create a new avatar mask. Call it arms mask. Then in the humanoid, we will green. So just turn off this, and just leave the arms, hands, and all that. So now we can put the avatar mask to an arms mask and keep it as override, and change the weight to 1. So now select the player model and say animation rigging, rig set up. It creates an empty. Now I'll also do bone render setup, just shows the bones. Okay, so now we have rig 1, an empty game object in our player model, and it's attached 2 new components, the one for the bone render and the rig builder. And if you wanted to add multiple rigs, we could duplicate this and then just drag it into that rig builder layer, rig layer as it says so. Okay, so now let's get the animation. So here I am on MixML, and let's search for rifle idle. So here, this is the one we're gonna use. Yeah, it looks like the one we want to use. So rifle idle, here it is. What else do we have? Download without skin, FBX for Unity, and 60 frames per second. And so now I'm gonna download it. So now here I am, I've dragged the animation into our player folder, and I've done it before but I showed you how to do it. Just drag it into Unity. Now inside the player folder, we create a new folder, call it gun. Drag in the Vanguard new animation, which is called Vanguard by T.tuning rifle idle. In the rig, change it to humanoid, copy from the avatar, and give in Vanguard our own avatar, apply. Then set it to loop time and hit apply again. And let's just select Unity model, then select other and give it the Vanguard, just to see how it looks. It looks pretty good. No problems. Now we'll duplicate this and delete this FBX. So we have the rifle idle. Drag it inside. Play. We can see that the animation is playing on the upper body, and it's not that bad, but of course it's not looking like what we want yet. Animation is playing. We will need to do some offsetting, so I can move about. The animation keeps playing, there's no motion yet. So in the rig, we are going to create an empty game object and call this game object spine. spine aim rig, I think. Spine aim rig, and no. I think a better name would be spine rod rig, so rotation rig short form. Then we are going to, I never updated rod rig. And select that. Okay, now we can add a new component. Animation rigging, and this is going to be a multi-rotation constraint. So what multi-rotation constraint is just gonna follow an object, so you'll give it a source object. It can also follow many objects, and like instead of following multiple objects, we'll like get the middle of both of them. So right now we'll just do it for one object. So we'll select the spine rotation rig and drag in spine 1. So we are going to override spine 1 and source objects, which is going to be the rotation center spine pos into the source objects. So it's going to start following the position of the center spine pos directly, which is exactly what we want. Save the project. Oops, that's a complete mistake. So we can hit play now, and you can see it's animating. There's a small problem that we'll fix right now. Just wait, I'll just fix it. We can walk now, and it's like the spine is just not gonna. It's like overridden by the animation rigging system, and below his legs can do whatever they want, so they're animating. So we add an offset. Oh, it's just lost the data. Offset of 45. Let's check it out if it looks like it's aiming straight. I think it needs some more offsetting. Let me just look at it. So you can see the player is aiming not correctly. It looks okay. I think it's okay. Let's change some settings. So in the spine rotation rig, make this 50. Okay, 50. 50 seems a bit of a better idea. Up and down, we can rotate. So I can move about now where there's no weapon yet, but it's up and down. We have a 55 is looking good. So 55. Stop the game and we just make it 50. I think 50 was looking the best. Between 45 and 50. Let's change it to spine instead of spine 1. So constraint object spine and center spine is the source object. Alright, so we have a bit of a different system. It's not going through at least. So that looks better. I think it's a good idea to rotate the spine of the spine 1. It seems to have got some odd behaviors. Is this looking good? Up, down, you can move. Yeah, that's working okay. So our main camera holder. Where does that problem happen? So you can see that that left arm is just coming in a bit. Let's change the height to 0.8, 0.6, 0.7, and then drag it here. We can it a little bit on the z-axis, so something like 0.2. Alright, so no more arms coming and going. Let's go here onto Unity Assets Store and get some guns. So the low poly guns collection I have added to my assets, and I've imported it now. I just imported it, skip the part so you wouldn't get bored, and I will now fix this issue. So inside the materials, it's not getting any more. Just set this one, apply, and becomes pink because the material itself is a shade of standard. So let's change it to lit, drag and diffuse. Alright, there you are. Oh, that's really big. That's really big. Scale it down to 0.3, 0.3, 0.3. And drag this into a child of the right hand. Then make it 0 on the X, Y, Z and X, Y, Z on rotation. So here it is now. Not looking that good. 0.2 by 0.2 by 0.2. And right now, if I hit play, yeah, you can see that it doesn't look so good. Let's fix this. So we'll do rotation minus 90 on the X, then the CZ maybe 190. On the environment, it's just a folder. AK-47, name it. Rotation can be 100 on the Z, 120, 110, so 110. That's the fixed rotation, and let's just put it on this axis, like where the character would catch the gun, hold it. That looks pretty good. Just copy the component and then stop the play of the transform of AK-47 and paste in the transform's position, and I mean the whole component values on AK-47. So now if you play, it's gonna actually put it correctly. Just create an empty inside the right hand and call it gun holder. Then as we have just copy the component, paste the component values, and now drag it inside. You can see AK-47 just became 111. So that's it really. Now we have the gun properly aligned. Not really, so you can see a problem already. The camera is not rotating from the exact position where the spine is. So the animator must be moving the spine, which is causing the problem. So let's just make some of these fixes first. So spine 1 rotation, spine 1, rot rig. This is for the spine 1, drag in spine 1. And it's gonna take from the same object. Spine. Here's the problem, so I forgot to drag in correct references. You have to change the spine 1 and take the position from the spine, the rotation from the spine. Now it looks a bit awkward because we forgot to keep it 0. Now save the project, and if you play now, it should work as it says. Yep, there you are. It looks a bit better, but it's still not correct. So there is a problem. Our spine does not move, but you can see spine moves. Because it's the parent of the spine 1. The spine 2 is just rotating as the animator controls it. The animation with rifle idle. Let's just delete this one and rename this one. Let's duplicate and rename this one to spine 2. And given spine 2, I'm just checking if it makes any effect better. Spine 1, and just save the project and hit play. That problem can only be fixed later on. Spine 1 is now 0. Hips is moving. You can see the hips is taken by the movements layer, the base layer. So the motion overrides the hips and moves it up and down, which moves the spine. And then the rig moves the spine back to its normal position. That's why if you right now click on the spine, it would be changing its positions to match the center spine's world's position. Not position, sorry, that's the problem. It was rotation, yeah. Let's rename this one. Sorry, let's delete it. And now check it out. So by leaving the spine completely not moving and moving this out, oops, I forgot. Spine 1 rotation, we get 50. Let's see the field of view 60. That was just some changes. So we have the rifle idle we imported. Let's just remove some frames of it. Because the hips anyway is moving, so it will anyway keep the idle looking like an idle animation, the movements. So to remove the frames, delete them like this. That's a pretty slow solution. Let's just go here and delete the starting one and then just make big chunks. So now this is small, big one, and delete. So we just have the first, which is basically the 0. It's no longer going to make any movements except for the first frame. 0. Spine. Let's create an avatar mask. Call it movement mask. And let's give it our user skeleton form. So instead of humanoid, I'm just gonna use the skeleton this time. So give it hips, no spine, nothing else, just the hips, left leg up, leg, everything inside the leg. And then again for the left leg, this was the right leg, now the left leg. So check. All the bools are checked. Now in the base layer, give it the movement mask. Let's hit play. That seems to be a problem. You can climb up and down. To fix this, we are going to create 2 scripts. First, the script is going to be called follow transform rot, so the rotation like rot. And the C# script is reloading, and the C# script, and this one's called follow transform pause. And we'll open this one in our editor. So my ID is loaded and we have the player control now. Let's just put some simple logic inside the follow boss. So we're just gonna have a serialized field, private transform for the target, and then you will simply say transform the position equals target dot position. Then serialized field inside the rod. So pretty safe, same, but within the update we're gonna just change it a bit. So we've got the target. Now for the update, it's going to be transform dot rotation equals our target dot rotation. Now back in the editor, in the center spine boss, we'll add a script and call it the follow transform boss script. And I think we should not add it here. Maybe add it on this. No, it will work. It will not work. So I mean, it would work. It won't. So just add it here. Sorry. Just add it on the follow transform position on the center spine boss and give it the target, which is the spine. Spine is the target now. Sorry, spine 1. Now if I hit play, you can see that we're going up and down and the problem is finished. We're not going through or clipping through any object right now. It's aligned properly. Okay, so now we can modify these values of the camera holder to actually keep the camera at the correct position for an FPS view. I'm moving about, can run and jump out as usual. So we set this to something like that, 0.2, and the spine 2 right now takes a spine. What? Yeah, spine 2 takes it, and spine 1. So we don't want to touch the spine right now. Let's create an empty game object and call this game object spine 1 boss rig. Spine 1 boss rig. Add a multi-position constraint and give the hips and source objects. Sorry for the we're not gonna give the hips in the constraint. It's gonna be spine in the constraint object, and then in the source objects we'll give it the hips. So the hips with the source objects, so it's gonna follow that. Spine and hips. So we right now orientate the spine on loop 1, I think. So let's do some calculations. You need to find the offset, so just copy the hips X position, paste, then select the spine, copy the X position, and minus this paste equals this copy. Then in our spine point plus offset, just paste in this value. Do the same thing for the Y, so copy, then we'll paste it, minus spine, so copy again and paste in there by minusing it, and then equal to, let's copy this, and for doing the Y offset, same thing for that Z, then copy the Z and then paste it inside after minusing, and copy it again and then paste it in the Z. So this will just, let's see if it will modify or not. It's a multi-position constraint. It does not seem to have done any changes. Yeah. So there was no difference. Is it difference in anything? Oh, so the funny thing is, the spine is a child of the hips. So it will always be anywhere at that position. Okay. Stop the game and then just change it to spine 1 and just checking if it's causing any better movement smoothness, because if you could just get a bit of more smooth effect would be better, but it looks like because they're already child of the hips, they cannot actually, they don't cause any difference. So okay, there's no difference. Let's put it as spine 2, this is spine 1 as it's followed. Spine 1 moves to spine 1 and then center spine boss. So this script actually just is following the spine 1, which is moving a bit right up and down. which does not let our camera go all upside down. So adding that did not cause much difference. The spine 2 and spine 1 rotation rigs are good, but the spine 1 position rig seems to not cause any effect. We derive from the spine 1 and we constraint object is a spine 2, and that's why it's a spine 2 rotation rig. Spine 1 is actually at 0 on the rotation, so it's already following it. Let's turn off this script and copy the world transform of spine 1 and just directly paste it inside the world. So now our camera is already going to be at the correct position. So just the Y we would like to copy and paste the world transform. Now let's hit play. So we do see this is not a good effect. I myself don't like this type of movements because it doesn't look good. Yeah, you can see guns going a bit down. And when I jump, it really does seem awkward. Let's see here. We have constraint axis. Just giving it the X. See which one can it move. It did not cause much difference again. Spine 1 is not moving, it's just rotating. I think it's time to just delete what we don't want. So we have spine 1 rotation rig down there, we have spine 2 and spine 1 position rig. Make it 0 because it's really not causing any effect. To keep the weight at 0 and oh, what's that? There's something wrong, I think. It does look better, but when you're going backward or if you're sprinting, it doesn't look good. The spine has not got the script on. I turned it off for testing, and that's why it's not doing much of following. So let's follow the spine both. Alright, so nope. Even if the spine 1 is following it, doesn't. It's like so moving anything. Maybe it's not working. I don't know. I'm just testing. Okay, let's go to play mode. Turn it to 1. Save our project. So we have got the upper body animating, but it's not perfect yet. Like the left hand doesn't grip on and things like that. We'll do that a bit in a short while. Let's just right click and remove this because it was just for testing. It did not actually make any effect on the gameplay. So we don't want to follow spine 1 anymore. So both of the spine rotation rigs should follow center spine. And there's a problem. I forgot one thing, which was the Y offset. When you're following that directly, it has to be 50. And now if I save again, play. Yep, so it's all alright again. We do not have any crosshair or anything. We'll add that later in the next 1 or 2 tutorials. I will add it. So right now we have the main camera and it's clipping through the oh yes, that looks better. Maybe a bit less, 0.01. This is what I would like to set it to. So it's no longer clipping through the gun. But now the body is currently coming in front as well. So we're just gonna reposition the camera holder somewhere like this. Head. Okay, so now we have removed it from the view. I will not fix this yet. Drag it ahead. Okay. Maybe a bit more. So focus. Just a bit more. Alright, so something coming from the left side of our screen now. There should not be more problems in putting the camera holder to the correct position. You can move it yourself. Why that happened? It was not coming right now. Okay, so when I'm aiming down, it is coming. Alright. Stop play button. And there you are. I was just testing and I never pressed that check. So follow transform position is now active and the problem is all okay. Yes, and it's still clipping through because I forgot to put it in the out of play mode. So it's all okay, back to normal. Now back in the main camera, just change the clipping planes view near, clipping planes near to 0.1, 0.01, 0.2, 0.01, 0.3. Nope, that's clipping through 0.03. So I'll go with that. I like that value, it looks good. Now I just come out of scene view and I placed in the clipping planes to 0.03. I'm now moving about and you can see we have this left arm like and the shoulder objects coming in front of our screen, which does not seem to be what we will want. So let's reposition this camera holder during the play mode. So we will start by looking at it from this angle and oops, it's a snapping. I did command to snap it. Let's just about this side. So here we are coming inside from this side, right about there, down, and that seems to be pretty good. Yeah, kind of looking really good. And we can run about. So the camera holder, I'm just gonna put the Z at 0.14 and the Y at 0.117 and the X at, let's try this one to be 0.1. Yes, 0.1 works too. So 0.1 on the X, 0.117 on the Y, and 0.135 on the X. Let's just move it behind a bit more on the Z. So you can just, make it at the perfect position. You can see if I just copy this component after putting it at the position which looks best, I can just open the transform. It's based in the component values. Now I can do Command S or Control S and just save our project. Alright, so we have the camera holder set up. We have the main camera inside of the child at 0, 0, 0, so there's no problem. And we have the main camera outside. Let's create a new empty game object and call this left hand IK. So if you saw, it was not gripping onto the gun, so we're gonna override the animation on the left hand a bit. So we want the left hand to be overridden, just drag it in the tip, then just do auto setup from tip transform, and we have a left IK hint and a left IK target. I'm just gonna delete the hint because I wanted to use its own capabilities and think about where the hint should be, where the elbow would be. So just drag this inside the right hand because the gun holder is inside the right hand. Then we will just reset its transform, save our project again. Alright, so I'll hit play. Now I will position it at the best position. It's at local and pivot, so drag it ahead and make this go correctly. So rotation straight, better, like this. And I will take my time in positioning it. So I'm going to just fast forward that part. So this is how you can actually just put that target at the correct position. So I'm just gonna do this right now, and I've just made it a bit fast. So get something like that. Down. Okay, so alright, so here it is, looking pretty good now. If you look in the view and anywhere else, copy the left hand IK target component, and just remember this was at 100, so gun holder at 100. You can manually just change that and then paste in the value, component values. So the gun is straight, I said it's straight, and the left hand IK target is held on the gun. So let's just save the project again. And if I hit play, I'm really having some fun now. So I just had some play mode on, seeing how it would look. Really great. It's pretty awesome to play around with it now. So inside our player model, we have a spine, just close those, and we can create an empty game object and call this the head aim rig. So we want one for the head aim. We use a multi-rotation constraint, and the constraint object is going to be our head, so that's inside the spine too, inside the neck, and which one's better? Should we give it the neck or the head? We'll see. Oh yeah, oh yes. And the head. Yeah, the head seems to be going inside. Oh, that's funny. Come on, Z. And if you move the neck, it also... Okay, I think we'll go the head. The head seems better. But neck or head? Neck. Let's try neck out first. And for the source objects, we will give it our center spine. Oops. Constraint object? No. The constraint object is the neck. And the source object is our head. Sorry, center spine. Boss. I save the project and I'm gonna go and play mode again. Oh, where's that hit in the head? It's going really funny. Is looking okay. The head is working. Let's try the head instead. Now I'm just gonna start playing about, and the head seems to be the best option. So I gave in the head, not the neck. So now save the project. This video has gone a bit very long. But that's okay because you will learn a lot about Unity's animation rigging system. We used two types of constraint, three types. I showed three, right? One was the multi-rotation constraint, one for the 2-1 IK, and this one's again a multi-rotation, but I showed you the multi-position one as well. Pretty similar. So I think putting the head up aim IK first, then the left hand IK. Yeah, we got all of these. Save the project. Come on, let's Control S and let's close the animator. Save the project again. So we have this red effector. Currently. Inside one rig, and the play model has the rig builder, which handles to talk to the animation, animator, and all that. So now I'm just gonna fix all of these guns, materials. Here we go. Just drag. There must be an easier way to do this, man. Come on. Why am I doing this all? Oh yes, easier way. No easier ways. Literally have to do it one by one. I think a better idea would be just to apply doing oh yes, so you've got this nice little option, convert material upgrader. So it's edit, rendering, and then there's that rendering and something, and then you just convert it to the URP, and then it says proceed to the upgrader. That's cool. Yeah, I like that. So I wouldn't have to waste that if I wouldn't check it. So just copy the component of the left hand IK target again, because I want to remove this effector. I don't want it. See, there's no preference exception. You can't do this unless this is a child of the rig. So I've copied the component where it was inside the right hand of the left hand IK target. Now I can do it none by dragging it in the rig. Then I will drag the left hand IK target back into the right hand, and then paste in the component values. So because I copied it when it was previously inside the right hand, I can save our project and just clear this again. Then I can collapse this window. And we have pretty much everything set up, and we have a nice little upper body moving about. So it's time for me to have some fun again. So it's been really a long time playing, so I just fast forwarded it. So now I'm going to just start dragging the models and everything into my assets folder and remove the slow polygons. So to do that, I'll first open the folder, scenes, sample scene, go back. Then in the main scene, delete the scenes because you don't need their main scene. Then the scripts, we also don't need the scripts because they don't do anything useful to us. Delete that, and my compiler is compiling the scripts. Now we have this guns folder. Let's just drag it directly into the models. So we have guns and all that models stay in there. Now we can just delete this whole big folder. Now they just select that one and delete. Yep, delete. There you are. So we just dragged it in, trying to leave the model. That's it really.